Hello and welcome. It's day 2 here at the Seattle Orcas Women's T20 Exhibition Series. It is going to be the Bellevue Blazers taking on the Redmond Raptors. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of what happened yesterday, what's going to happen today, it's time for the toss. Let's head down to the middle. Brian Walters has got the two captains with him.
Toss time, day number 2, match number 1 of the Seattle Orcas Women's T20 Exhibition Tournament. This morning's match between the Bellevue Blazers and the Redmond Raptors. A lot of important people around me. The umpires, Garal Desai and Mr. Jagadish. I have the captains, Giovanna Aris and Anika Colin. Sean Carey, CEO of the Seattle Orcas, and the man who will be tossing the coin is the co-presenter, Cricket Impact Group, Adam Hall. The coin when you're ready, sir.
Oh, who's calling?
Who's calling? The home team is Bellevue, so Anika will be calling.
Tails.
Tails is the call.
And heads it is.
It is a heads.
Let's use the bat.
Very interesting. You've chosen to bat. Tell me why.
We just want to try something different. I mean, we looked at the team, we're looking at who we're going against, and we thought it was the better idea.
Better idea. The ultimate question for you, tell me about the knee.
The knee's better. There's just a lot of ice last night, but it'll be all good. I'll be on the field today.
A lot of ice. And the decision that you've chosen, tell me about the main reason behind it as compared to how you did yesterday.
I mean, yesterday we bowled first. We just wanted to give our team a chance to bat first before we head into the last few games. Just make sure we get an opportunity for everyone to showcase their skills.
Best of luck. Go well.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Your comfort level with bowling first today.
Actually, if you had won the toss, we would choose to bowl, so I think I'm very comfortable with that, yeah.
Interesting. So it's a redundant toss then.
Yes, of course it is, yeah.
And bowling first, you've seen how the wicket plays. What kind of score are you looking to restrict them to?
Looking to restrict anything under 120, I would say. I think it is a great wicket, but I think if you utilize it well, that you can get the perks out of it. And I think restricting them to however much we can and chasing it down is going to be our goal.
But we're going to ask you for the Anika Colin win predictor. What's that number say for you today?
For my team? Oh, I would say 100% Redmond Raptors.
100%.
100% Redmond Raptors. Gotta go all the way.
There it is. Best of luck. It's the Bellevue Blazers who won the toss. They'll be batting first.
Thanks, Brian. There you have it. It is the Bellevue Blazers who've won the toss. They've chosen to have a bat first. They're coming off a win yesterday. It is going to be pressure on the Redmond Raptors. They're the only side between the three sides playing in this tournament who have yet to pick up a win. Washington Waves picked up the first win of the day yesterday. The Blues picked up the second win of the day yesterday. And we will try and pull up the squads and the points table for you as well. Giovanna Aris, correction, she is a woman in charge and also dealing with a bit of an injury. So it's going to be interesting to see how she goes today. But we did see a lot of promise from this side yesterday. Disha Dhingra, excellent half century. And Janelia Glasgow, the player of the match yesterday from one of the internationals. Good to watch her for Alia Lane as well. The two West Indians in the side. But what they were really good at yesterday, along with those outstanding performances, being able to put together a cohesive side together. Anika Colin, under a little bit of pressure, needs some runs for herself, needs to find a win for her team. And with that side, you do have the experience of Divya Saxena, hard-hitting batter, expected to get some runs today. Cami Desai as well. And again, some more West Indian experience into it as well. But we're all set for ball one. Welcome, Brian, from the toss. And here we go. Left alone, good bit of shape as well. Good line, just keeping it away.
Good morning, Manala Patel.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. You seem to think it's a little bit more chilly today than yesterday. It feels absolutely wonderful. Air temperature, my estimate is, I'll help you out here, 23 degrees or so Celsius, around 73 Fahrenheit. Wonderful day for cricket.
There's shape. There's definite shape early on.
A lot of movement. The outswing, it's interesting because the wind has changed directions a few times. It's not very strong right now, but the times that it has blown has been from the west to the east. In other words, as you look at your screen, it is blowing from right to left. And so it'll be interesting to see how that wind affects the ball, there's a lot of movement on offer.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, we are coming to you live from Fairfield Country Park here in Monroe, Washington. Beautiful venue. The breeze certainly helps with the temperature. It is a bit cooler today, actually expected to get a lot cooler tomorrow. So there is a shift in pattern in that sense. It is 4 days of cricket in this tournament and double round robin with the finals scheduled to be played on Sunday. She's getting beautiful outswing.
Lekasheti is a good seam bowler and a good swing bowler. You mentioned the shape that she's getting, just angling that seam slightly towards first slip and getting good movement in the air away from the right-handed batter. So the fielders at backward point and at point are going to have to be very careful because the ball is likely to go in that direction.
I like this move. I like that she's decided that she was going to switch ends instead of going right arm over. She's going to go right arm around. Just helps with that angle as well, going across the right-hander.
That's an interesting move. It's intentionally creating or exacerbating that angle, going across the batter, and most batters are susceptible to the ball leaving them. It takes LBW out of the equation, an outswinger bowling from around the wicket, but you're creating that angle.
Here's the issue that I have with that, though, Brian, as we see a quick single picked up. The issue for me is she's getting all this beautiful shape, but there's no slip in place.
I thought about that. You don't want to have a catch go begging. That's certainly the case. On the other hand, if you're one win or one loss down, no wins, you maybe don't want to go full attack just yet. A slip in this position says full attack.
I would love to see full attack, especially because you are in the power play overs. You want to get that pressure early on the batters. That's going to round off the first over, though. It's 4 for none. Taking a quick look at the points table as well, as I mentioned, there were wins yesterday for both Bellevue Blazers and the Washington Waves. Redmond Raptors yet to pick up a point for themselves, but it is a Blazer that is sitting at the top because of that net run rate. Tied on points with the Washington Waves, but sitting on top because of a very healthy net run rate, because it was a big win yesterday from them. And this is going to be the challenge for Raptors as they play catch-up. It also means they're now under pressure. They've got 2 games today. And we've seen how much the heat does impact in that second game. The fatigue does start to set in as well. Keithia Kadali, captain of the Waves, mentioned that a little bit in the post-match yesterday. Excellent. Probing line from Jessica Willith-Gamua.
She gets the radar right on the second deliver. First one a little too straight going down the leg side, but intentionally Jessica Willith-Gamua choosing to go around the wicket, slanting it in. I would honestly prefer for her to be over the wicket, slanting the ball across Disha Dingra. To me, it's a better line firstly in the batter's innings. They're more susceptible to the ball leaving them. So over the wicket for me works better here.
She's getting movement and she's bowling a very probing line. This could be a little bit, just a little bit dicey. Disha Dingra coming off of a half century yesterday, so she's got the confidence coming into this game. Just needs to be a little bit watchful, but I like the fact that the pressure's on the batters right now. They haven't let them get away too far in the power play. 2 fielders allowed outside in the first 6 overs of the power play. Deep mid-wicket, deep cover. Again, angling into the right-hander. Does well to be able to get this into the leg side for another single. We did see the momentum shift quite a bit as the day progressed yesterday. Tougher batting conditions in the first game, especially in that first innings. But as the day progressed, that second game became very batting friendly. Part of that a little bit more than it was. This is obviously something that they would have had a talk about in their dugouts with their coaches. We saw a big change of that yesterday in that second game, especially in the type of attack that the Waves came out with the bat. And so these discussions would have been had, and they would have come out today with that plan. Okay, we want to try and attack straight. We don't want to try and go across as much, especially in this morning game. Does well, gets it up and over the fielder. It's going to be the first boundary as well. Really well played for 4.
Well, it's an interesting move. You've gone from getting the 2 sweepers outside square of the wicket to having a long on and a mid wicket. So that says you have to bowl a straighter line. This here is a little too wide given this field. And so with the fielders in the deep straight on the leg side, you really have to be much more on the stumps than that. Any amount of width and you'll get punished. That's a great shot by Mahek Desai.
Well played, well bowled, good cricket all around, and a dot to end the second over. It's 10 for none.
So, Manali, this is a country of excess in a number of different ways.
That is an understatement. Quick single, very well done. A slight fumble allows them to get through.
Let's just say the lovely people who we are absolutely honored to be working with spare no expense in providing us with all the, let's call it, refreshments that are needed.
Or just sugar.
Okay, maybe not needed,
Sugar.
wanted definitely. I don't know that.
Everyone needs a bit of sugar in life. Come on. Some chocolate, some pop. You guys don't call it pop here. What do you
No,
call
we
it?
don't. Soda.
Soda. How boring. Good angle. Very good angle, but really well played. Just starting to make those adjustments for that angle and that swing, and this is good to see from a batting perspective.
Well, Lekashetty choosing to remain around the wicket to the 2 right-handers. Ball doesn't swing forever, so she's attempting to take advantage of that swing. And with this field, outside the line of off stump is where she needs to be. She's done that so far.
Where is the slip, Brian? You finally got the batter drawn into the shot. The first over that they faced, they were watching. Lekashetty now has the batter actually attempting the shot, actually attempting it. If there's a slip there, first of all, it puts the batter in 2 minds. Second of all, if there is a nick, you've got a chance.
So you're saying Shilan Khan, who is currently at short third, needs to be up about another 10 or so yards.
I'm saying they need a slip. And this is frustration because Disha Dingra, 50 yesterday. It's not often that you find her 5 of 12 in a T20 during the power play. So this is pressure, and you just suspect something has to give here.
It is a very, very cogent observation. Now, Disha Dingra can turn all of that around with one stroke, so you still have to be careful.
Driven, and driven beautifully through the covers for 4. And this is why I go back to saying put a slip in, add that second of doubt in the batter.
You bowl wide and full at Disha Dingra at your peril. And with deep extra cover wide open, there is a sweeper on the offside, but they're much more square. So that area over extra cover is wide open. You don't want to get Disha Dingra going. That's a great shot.
Mr. Line, and this is really well picked up. Wayward down leg, helped along the way. That's going to be back-to-back boundaries to end what was a very tidy over to begin. 3 overs gone, it's 20 for none.
Look at that replay from around the wicket. Not much difficulty there because it wasn't creating that angle going across her. It was actually at her body from around the wicket. No doubt about it. There is not any threat for LBW. It's not threatening the stumps. Essentially, it's a free hit down the leg side. Disha Dingra more than able to cash in on those. She's into double digits, up to 13 from 14, 20 without loss.
Jessica Willikamua into her second over. Not quite ready. She will need to run in again. Be really keen to see what the two teams are actually going to put up today, especially in this first innings. We've seen a decent score in that second game yesterday. Not chaseable. There was scoreboard pressure. There were wickets that were falling. Pardon me, I do mean the first game. The second game, on the other hand, was chased down very, very easily thanks to a very good half century. Again from Disha Dingra, a handy 41 from Janelia Glasgow as well.
Mehek Desai, young lady. We talked yesterday about her bowling. Just set the world on fire and came on a couple of weeks ago. But she's also a very capable batter. Opening the batting, loves that elevated extra cover drive. You saw her play that shot earlier and is essentially, to me, a very compact player. Always will score around 100 strike rates, and you don't want to make a mistake. So this is a really good opening pair that the Bellevue Blazers have on offer.
I'm just keen to see how they go about setting a target today, because yesterday when they were chasing, they knew what the target was, they knew how they needed to pace it, and they got some assistance from a bit of a tired bowling attack, I guess you could call. Today, on the other hand, they've actually got to set a target. Now that they've said we want to have a bowl. Won't find the gap through the offside again. Yesterday, when they chose to have a bowl, they did really well with the ball, but they struggled. They fell apart with the bat. They cannot afford that today.
They absolutely can't. To me, it's about mentality and about recognizing the fact that even if you absorb a few dot balls, you've just absorbed 4 dot balls here. Good over on the way for Jessica Willikamua. That you have to put yourself in the mindset. This is a little bit sloppy. They'll get a single here. But you have to put yourself in the mindset that absorbing a few dot balls is not the end of the world. And too many times yesterday, you saw a lot of rash shots that came from pressure having been built up because there were a few dot balls. They have the batting power to be able to make up the difference, even if you have a couple of deliveries or a couple of overs that don't go for as many runs as you'd like.
Too much single to end the over, just the 2 runs come. Right, a bit of West Indian experience into the attack. Hannah Joseph starts with a loose delivery. This has been put away. Asked to be punished, deserved to be punished, and it has been punished. This is going to help just reduce that scoreboard pressure. It's going to help reduce those dot ball pressures that both Disha Dhingra and Mahek were feeling. And now all of a sudden that strike rate that you were talking about for Disha Dhingra is turned around.
I'll tell you what, Kiana Joseph might consider herself lucky that that was not adjudged to have been a no ball on height. That was dangerously close to being a full toss above waist height. It was punished, rightly punished, because it was a rank full toss, but she might just consider herself lucky that she didn't get a no ball on top of that.
That's a better delivery. And a good decision in the end to not run on that.
Much better delivery. You expect excellence from the international professional, Kiana Joseph. A loose one to start with, but she's made up for it on the second ball.
Excellent. Very, very good delivery. Tempting as well. It's the length. Just have to be watchful because it's that dip factor that will come into play. Full and straight. That's short. And she's going to feel like she's missed out. Too early through the shot. Had she waited just a little bit longer, she would have been able to get it into the leg side.
High-class matchup.
Very slow through the air. Looks like it would have been going down leg.
So she started with a loose delivery, Kiana Joseph, but 4 excellent deliveries after that. Look at this. To me, this is going down leg, probably bouncing over the top as well, but excellent recovery here from Kiana Joseph.
Manages it into the leg side, and it's a single to end the over. 5 overs gone, 27 for none.
So 5 overs in the books, 27 runs on the board. A decent start for the Bellevue Blazers. And Ritu Singh in the middle of your picture will be looking to make an impact in this game. Very, very good all-rounder. She took the first wicket, or took a wicket in her first over yesterday. And looking to do the same here, delivering to her longtime USA teammate, Disha Dhingra. As we say good morning to Sheel Majumdar. Sheel, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. What a cracker of a day. It's only going to get warmer from here, I hear.
Swept away into the deep. Good protection, good coverage out there. That is Lassia Bandaru down at the boundary. You say it's going to get warmer. Understand that anything relating to warmth, I don't have much sympathy for you all up here when you say it's 80 degrees and it's warm. I just don't.
I'm purely doing that from the player's perspective, Brian. Looking at what the waves were facing yesterday, back-to-back games, they practically were running on fumes towards the end. So when it's going to hit 83 at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock today, I pity some of the players who will probably be playing their second game by then.
This is true. And this is a great delivery here by Ritu Singh, slowing it all the way up. Has Mahek Desai lurching forward. Luckily for her, she didn't come out of the crease. Now, the senior, Disha Dhingra, coming down, having a quick chat with Mahek Desai. 3 delivers remaining in the power play. You still have the restriction where you only have 2 fielders outside the circle. Down at cow corner and at deep point are the 2 outside. This is going to be in the gap, but cut off at long off. Make that long on, my apologies. They'll get a couple of runs. So how do you score? If this is a boxing match and you're scoring round by round, close to the end of the 6th round,
where they choose to preserve their wicket. And these 2 do it exceptionally well, and that gives them a lot of leverage as they start sort of building their innings from here. The one cardinal mistake we saw the other 2 teams commit yesterday were losing a bunch of wickets in the power play. These 2 did exceptionally well yesterday to protect their power play, and which is what they're doing. So at this point of time, we're going to give them a lot of points. They've not run away with the total scoring. They're not like 50 for none or something like that. Just 30.
Certainly haven't run away with it. That's the end of the end of the power play. 30. So 30 runs on the board. Disha Dhingra 20 from 22. Mahek Desai 8 from 14. This projection there is exactly 100. Captain Anika Colin at the toss said she wanted to restrict the opposition to around 120. It feels like 120 would be a below par score, which is obviously why she'd be having that mindset. But what's your thought on a typical score here for the Bellevue Blazers to aim at as you go back to Kiana Joseph?
I think anything in the range of that 125 to 135 is potentially the score that would keep both the teams interested. We know yesterday the 130 score was kind of chased down with relative ease by Blazers, but like Manali pointed out earlier, that was also a team that was probably working at 50% battery, but with this as being the first game and a whole lot of breeze and slower bowlers on both sides, 125 to 135, that's the range I would look at. It's a good score. Bold.
Got her. Knocked her over. Look at the celebration by Kiana Joseph. That to me signals a plan that worked. Mahek Desai looking for the big sweep, coming up empty, and first blood here to the Redmond Raptors. That is the end of Mahek Desai, 8 from 15, and the Blazers are 31 for 1.
That's a solid big wicket there, Brian. Once again, that cardinal sin of playing it square of the wicket. I mean, this is the kind of ball you would want to play in a much more safer fashion, probably back-footed, straight down the wicket, even if that doesn't fetch you a run, but you preserve the wicket. But going for that shot, and it is purely because of the pressure. They've come out of they've preserved their wickets, but they have not gone away with the score. It's just 30 after 6. The power play is done. They're at just about 5 runs per over. That pressure got to her that she needed to probably accelerate.
And Mahek Desai, obviously a very young lady, 15 years old if I'm not mistaken. Disha Dhingra, much more experienced, long-time member of USA Cricket, or long-time player for USA Cricket. So somebody like Disha Dhingra would be able, or would have been able to say to Mahek Desai, doesn't matter that we've absorbed a few dot balls, we have all 10 wickets in hand, just make sure that you be positive, and pushing the ball down the ground for a single would have been the better way to go there. New
Kiana
batter is
Joseph.
in. It's going to be Shubi Agrawal. Finish your thought, please.
No, thank you. Kiana Joseph is bowling really well. She's mixing it up. You know, it's just each ball she is changing the length, she's changing the line, the speed of the ball. Each one is an event as of now, Brian.
Well, I think the thing about Kiana Joseph that I love is exactly what you just highlighted. No two consecutive balls are the same. Some are tossed up, some are pushed through, some are a little fuller, some are a little flatter. It's just every single ball is different. And this is really, really good stuff for the West Indian professional. And this is a professional to professional here. Well, professional in the sense that Shubi Agrawal is a really good up-and-coming player. Tries to go across the line, under edges, almost gloves it behind. No, nothing on it. Signaled as wide, so a couple of wides. Interestingly, those are the first couple of wides that you've seen here. I don't know that you don't just try to punch a single down the ground.
Once again, look at that. I mean, that's a heave. That's just trying to get something on the bat, and that's something that you don't expect from Disha. She has all the experience and probably would have played Kiana Joseph multiple times. She had a measure of her bowling. At the end of 7, it's 33 for 1. Redmond Raptors, once again, they're having a bit of control and grip over the total. They're not letting the opposition get away. This is exactly what they did yesterday, though unfortunately they lost that game. We'll be keen to see how they go about in the death overs, which is where the Washington Waves really made a lot of runs against them.
So Gina Pereira into the attack. International out of Canada. By the way, talking about Shubi Agrawal, who is now on strike. She's 15 years old. She is from the Northern California area. Her coach is a really good friend of mine, Clint Copeland. This is pulled into the leg side. They might try to stretch this to 2. No, they don't. That's a good piece of fielding. So let's talk about the fact that you have international players interspersed with 15 and 16-year-olds. How important is that for their development as they get through their careers?
Massive, massive. In fact, while we finished the day yesterday, and I was kind of thinking about it, what happened. There was so much of you can feel the glaring difference between the abilities of international players and some of the up-and-coming youngsters. And I hope when they sit down at the end of the day, they do a bit of a debrief, because it's very important to get the perspectives clear with the younger minds. We were talking to a few family members of some of the players yesterday after the game, and the word that stuck with me was they were sometimes overwhelmed by the situation. So it's important for them to get a context that what they're doing out there, in the sense of overwhelm, gets washed away with this exposure to experience around them. It's a brilliant idea to, so early in their career, get them so face to face with some of the experienced cricketers.
Really is important in terms of their development. Now let's see, as we get through, halfway through over number 8, still have 3 legal balls to go. Looks to sweep this one around the corner, and I think this gets the captain on that collarbone. That would have been a little bit painful. Annika Colon in some difficulty, but I think she's going to be okay. Let's take a look at that again if we can. Going down what appeared to be down the leg side, and she collected that, but there you see, I think that just struck her on the left collarbone, but I think you just saw her flash a little bit of a thumbs up, so she should be fine. But that never feels good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Flat batted down the ground. Should just be 1. Of course, we talked about the emerging and the local players, but Achina Pereira herself. Very, very experienced, even though she's only 25 years old. Played in Canada's first ever T20 against the U.S. Slashed away, and that's put down. That is a difficult chance, but you want to hold on to those, don't you?
Chances getting created very rarely, so sometimes the fielders don't expect chances to come by when such things happen.
Struck very hard. Divya Saxena is a beautiful fielder, but boy, she really wanted to have taken this one. Short and wide and crashed. It was hit hard. There's no question it was traveling, and it was to her left. She's right-handed, so that would have made it a more difficult catch.
Yeah,
but Divya Saxena is an excellent cricketer, and she will tell you herself that she should have taken that. A steal, a single to boot, so that is the end of over number 8. The score is 38 for 1.
One of the toughest positions to field is that area, square of the wicket on the offside.
Well, the fact that it's Divya Saxena fielding in that position tells you that she's a good fielder. The captain is not going to put somebody there who she thinks is going to drop those types of catches. And if you're square of the wicket in that position, those are the types of catches that come to you. So again, I think she'll be disappointed at having dropped that one, Divya. Going back to Kiana Joseph. It's really, really excellent bowler here, Kiana Joseph. From St. Lucia, the island of St. Lucia. I'll ask you a question. Tell me one other cricketer who's from St. Lucia. Do you know any?
Darren Sammy.
You nailed it.
Darren
Full marks to you. And there's another member of our commentary area as that's plunked down the ground, and it's going to go for 4. Another member of our commentary team who I don't know would have come up with the answer to that. I know you know who Darren Sammy is. You just would not have come up with St. Lucia, I don't think.
He's probably one of the favorite sons of St. Lucia.
Oh, he has a whole stadium named after him, so that should tell that should tell you. Look at this replay again. Tossed up. That is a really excellent shot. Just struck firmly down the ground. Great attempt sliding across there, coming from long off. Make that long on, but not quite able to get to it. Oh, was that an edge? The reaction of Captain Anika Collin tells me that that may have been an edge.
Talking of Darren Sammy, Brian, he is at par with, well, looking at the replay there once again.
Yep, that's an edge. Yep.
Clearly. 2 catches going begging in the span of few deliveries.
Okay, now allow me to defend Anika Collin. That's an edge to a keeper, a very thick edge. So it's kind of hard to call that one a drop. It was a very healthy deflection there.
Fair enough. Both the catches were difficult, to say the least, but it's a drop nevertheless.
You are harsh. You're harsher than Manali.
No, I'm just talking the facts out here.
In the air, this is going to take some catching, and in fact, it will run away. That's a great piece of fielding, by the way. That's pulled back. That's 2 runs saved by Kami Desai. That is not easy. For all money, I thought that was going to the long off boundary, but that excellent piece of fielding saves 2 runs. That is the end of over number 9, 44 for 1.
Yep, wonderful fielding there. Those are the kind of efforts that brings a lot of confidence amongst the team. At this point, they are, I mean, the difference would have been, if that 4 would have happened, the run rate would have been about 5. Just the fact that they hold them back, that's not a boundary on the scorecard, and that adds that little bit of pressure.
Absolutely. Well, back to Achina Pereira for over number 10. Full toss.
Full toss.
But there's protection in the deep. That is, I believe, Lasya Bandaru down there.
3 years down back, Brian, looking at the landscape of cricket around the world, one art that was becoming fast, slightly scarce, was the art of wrist spin and leg spin. The number of leg spinners that I'm seeing since yesterday
in this tournament, you're absolutely right. Catchable, Lekachetti. And she takes it easily. That is such a well-judged catch. Not an easy catch because the wind has picked up, so that would have been carrying it more in her direction, but she judged it excellently. Second wicket is down, 45 for 2.
What a fantastic piece of moment here or just a fantastic moment of the game, because there was a little bit questions being asked by Achini Pereira. She's trying to get a flight. She's bowling against the wind, and she's bowling leg spin. It's very difficult to go against the wind because you have to put that extra effort to get the flight across to the batsman. She was struggling a bit, a few full tosses in the last over, and the first one too was a little fuller, but she got it bang on this time and induced a wicket.
Well, it looks as though with 4 deliveries remaining till the end of over number 10 that they will in fact take the water break. Taking the water break with the score at 45 for 2, evenly poised. Anything can happen. It can be all out for 65 or you can go on to score 130. We'll stick around for the next few minutes after the water break. We'll be back on the other side. So the players are refreshed. Shiel Majum
Yeah,
taking a little bit of time to come back on. So that tells or gives you enough room for you to tell me what you think about the first 9 overs and 2 balls in this innings.
yeah, it's been a pretty hard fought first half of the innings, almost first half of the innings. The Blazers haven't run away; they haven't blazed away with the score.
Well done.
And the Raptors are out there still having a grip on this game. I was really impressed with Jessica earlier today. Intrigued first that why she was all the time bowling from the round the wicket, having a left arm. I would probably want her to come conventional over the wicket, but she was right on point, most economical so far.
Well, here's an interesting matchup for me. This young lady, all she did was win Player of the Match awards in yesterday's evening game. Janelia Glasgow. Left-hander, So she will be obviously a foil for the right-handed Disha Dengra. And more to the point, she's a very hard-hitting left-handed batter. You do not want to be wide to her. She will punish you through the offside.
Right there.
Oof, got away with that. Very rank full toss by China Pereira.
Janelia Glasgow would be disappointed with that. That was a hit-me delivery, pretty soft one for her to get off the mark. She could have placed it a little, but nevertheless, she's off the mark first ball. That's a good feeling.
Always a good feeling. Now, how do you play this if you're Disha Dengra? It's played into the offside, no run. Tell me what you think about the approach that Disha Dengra should take here. Does she feel any pressure to attempt to accelerate?
Yeah, she isn't looking that fluent as yesterday. I mean, she was in a slightly more fluent zone, but and that's probably impacting the run rate. The good part is she's still there, and she has the experience to counter it. At this point, she's probably well set and somewhere need to take that calculated aggression.
Calculated aggression is a good way of putting that. I think that's exactly the point that I would want to emphasize if I were Disha Dengra's coach. Your natural game is aggressive enough to get you runs. Just don't do anything silly. Play in the V if the ball is straight, otherwise crash it through the outside or the leg side. Another full toss, and this one is dealt with. That's what she should have done with the very first ball she faced. That's for the square leg to end over number 10. A loose delivery, 7 from the over. The score with that shot bringing up to 50 is 51 for 2.
Oh, that was an absolute hack. She's just clobbered it. One time too many. This time she spotted the flight much earlier, got herself in position, and ensured that it wasn't the gap.
And in fairness, this is a full toss that is down the leg side, no less. So there is nothing positive about that type of delivery. Those are ones that even if you're facing your first ball or your 51st ball, those are deliveries that you put away for 4.
There's a tiny bit of zone in her batting, which is the ball coming into her or into her legs, which she is found to be a little susceptible of a bit of indecision that we saw yesterday, and she missed a few of them. But it takes a lot of skill to bowl there relentlessly. Either you bowl Yorkers in there, but now with the slow ballers in play, that would be a difficult one because there's always that danger of bowling a full on her leg, and we saw just now what happened when that happens.
So Ritu Singh turning around. That is, when I say turning around, I mean coming from the northern end of the ground this time. Her first over was from the south. A lot of full tosses bowled today. She starts with a low full toss. Disha Dengra gets into mid-wicket for a single.
Now, once again, I would bring the conversation of wind out here, Brian. One side, you're pushing extra effort to counter the wind, and other side, you don't have the measure of the effort, and even what you expect to bounce is probably being taken further by an inch or two by the breeze. But they're struggling today, the slower bowlers a bit. Her first over was pretty good, but she starts a little with a full toss right now.
Watch your line. Watch your line. Cannot be too wide to her. That is perfect. Right on the fourth stump. Played into the offside, no run.
This is again coming into Janelia. And we know when it comes to her, she is more watchful. Oh.
She wants to play it through the offside, doesn't she? She absolutely wants to go back and cut this fiercely past point. And so far in this over, Ritu Singh doing a good enough job keeping it away from her power shot, which is that shot through the offside. This is really, really good stuff from Ritu Singh. Interesting. Appeal for the stumping. The umpire has gone for the review, and that reminds me, I never remembered that was one of the playing conditions. They have gone upstairs for the review. The third umpire will have a decision to make.
And quite clearly, the batter was not happy probably the playing condition was one of my questions. How come that is being inserted here? You know, I was always thinking those two fielders on square of the wicket, gully and cover point.
Let's take a look at this. She's okay here. She's okay. Well, the ball, her foot is on the line here. Does she get it back behind the line? This is going to be a close call. Ooh, I think she's okay. I think she just gets that foot grounded in time. But, of course, that is our opinion. The umpire is the one who makes the call. But I will tell you that I completely forgot that was under the playing conditions. This is a high-level tournament. You know, how could we not have remembered that? This is good stuff.
Well, no harm done, but some excitement there. At least the first of the third umpire involvement in the games here. But those two fielders, Brian, right square of the wicket for Jamelia, they will keep the bowler interested. Looks like it's a proper plan to have her go for those outside the off stump, because she sort of backs herself to play those balls. And any of those two ones, they've already dropped one catch in that area, but they would be interested.
Well, there's no doubt that the scoring rate has slowed down, and so they'll be looking to accelerate here. Oh, this is going to be, I think, just off of the top edge. They'll get two, as it's the captain herself from behind the stumps, Anika Colin, who has to retrieve that one. In fact, there's a signal. It's two leg buys. I think you want runs of any flavor at this stage now, though.
Yes, you're absolutely right. 11 done, 55 for 2. With 2 wickets, just having lost just 2 wickets, it is a tricky call. Should they be cautious for a few more overs? But then by then the horse would have been bolted. So they would need to get started. Somebody has to take that risk, and in my book, that is Disha Dhingra. Although Janelia Glasgow was explosive yesterday. She came in later and almost caught up with Disha Dhingra with her explosive batting, so she can take some charge. With Disha, she's capable of scoring fast, and she's already there for 5 overs or so now. At least her number of balls, 30 balls, she's been here, she's seen through.
So Vilasya Bandaru, who will be into the attack. To your point, who is going to take charge? I don't know that you need to designate somebody to take charge. I think you just need to play each ball in its merit. Let's play it down the ground. And especially if you're Disha Dhingra and you're hitting from this side, the ground, or the wind is coming in from the north, so it will be blowing in this direction. If Disha Dhingra elevates the ball down the ground, it will be helped by the wind. So this feels like a situation where Disha Dhingra needs to be looking for something that is in her mindset. Should be, if it's in the slot, it's going to disappear, because from this end, this is where you have that happen. Oh, falling on the stumps. She played a cross-batted shot. How many times have we said that? Third wicket is down, 56 for 3.
It's an off-spinner bowling, and you would wonder, why would you need to play a sweep? And that's pressure talking, that you have to get the bat on ball somehow. You clearly look like, from a distance though, and we'll verify that by replays very soon, it looked like she took the eyes off the ball. She just went with the shot. And that's certainly not the way to play. That's only pressure talking on you, that you have to get a boundary somehow.
I agree that that's pressure. Excuse me. Disha Dhingra is a very experienced player who has been in very many high-pressure situations in her career. I think everything that I just said still holds. That ball was drivable. And if you're going to drive it, even if you get more height than distance, with her strength, height more than distance is still able to clear the rope straight. And with the wind, it still helps to carry the ball over the rope. So for me, this is a bit of a tricky situation, but Disha will be disappointed in having been dismissed in that fashion. So, new batters at the crease. The captain herself having her first knock in this tournament, Giovanna Aras. Hard-hitting lefties at both ends. This feels like a point in the match where anything can happen.
And an off spinner to boot. She's going to take the ball away from them. So
Oh.
it's a bit of a contest, and a contest which is mouth-watering to say the least.
And notice that she's bowling over the wicket.
Over the wicket.
Slanting the ball across and turning it across. Tell you what, she almost punched that right back into her hands first ball.
But the good part there is she's played straight down.
Yes.
Instead of something else.
Completely accurate. So playing to the situation here, the captain will know that this partnership needs to go very far. There's the outside edge of the bat found. That's why you're bowling over the wicket.
Giovanna Aras, again, a proud story of the region here. Picked up the game during just before COVID and the pandemic, and through this 4 or 5 years we've seen her evolve from being a fast bowler to being an all-rounder and now being a marquee player. That's an amazing growth, and she's inspired so many young girls and boys in the region.
Straight down the ground here. She will maintain strike, Giovanna Aras. She gets off the mark. What a good over. The first one bowled here by Lasse Bandaru. Takes a wicket, only concedes 2 runs. End of 12. You might say the Bellevue Blazers are struggling a little bit. 57 for 3.
Struggling is an understatement here, Brian. At this point, they need direction. They need leadership, someone to actually stand up there, and they probably have the 2 of the best people in the team right now who can do that for them. They have the game, they have the power, and they have the experience, so they can bring it all right now to salvage this from here. 48 balls to go.
Well, here's where it's tricky, because from this end, yes, 48 balls to go, you're running out of deliveries, but now you're hitting into the wind if you hit straight.
Yes.
So you require a cool head here. I completely agree with you, everything that you just said about Giovanna. I've known her probably for 4 or so years, and truly impressed with the fact that she was able to pick up the sport in as quick a fashion as she has. But this situation calls for her to draw on all of her post-COVID years of experience, along with her partner who is an international player, because they need to pull themselves out of the fire here. And this is good bowling. Ritu Singh is not going to be easy to score off of. And again, from this end, you'd be hitting into the wind. So really good contest here.
Ritu Singh, what an absolute athlete. She is bringing her guile, her variations. She's asking a lot of questions, probing questions to the batters out here. Already awarded with some close moments.
Down the track and over the top. I'll tell you what, it goes for 6. Something tells me that if the fielder, Kami Desai, is back on the rope, she takes that chest high.
I totally agree with you there. It was, it's a close call, honestly. These are very tough ones nowadays when you see the players practice that. It was picked up pretty well.
Yeah.
And she was at least a yard or 2 inside.
Easily.
If she would have just hung around on the boundary line, she would have given herself more chance.
It's a welcome 6. It's into the wind. There's all kinds of risk in that shot. So she'll want to rethink whether or not she wants to keep doing that, Giovanna Aras, but she gets away with it. And now a single down to deep point.
She left the game yesterday with a niggle. Looks absolutely fit so far. You can see she's running well, she's moving well on the wicket. That augurs well for the Blazers.
Risky. I'll tell you what, if I am in the field and one of the 2 batters is carrying an injury, I'm throwing to that end every time.
100%.
So it sounds cruel, but you need to prove to me as a fielder or as the batter who is on strike or in the wickets that you can run effectively. Down the track, that is a much better shot. Easy as you like, straight as you like, 4 more.
Well, you spoke about wind. What wind, Brian? she just hammered a 6 and a 4 right there into the wind.
Wow.
So she's throwing the kitchen sink at everything.
Look at that replay. Straight down the ground. Such a good shot by Giovanna Aras. And obviously using her feet coming down the track, that review or that replay from the side camera tells you that she was well out of her crease when she played that shot. A little bit of a momentum switch here. 6-9 for 3 after 13.
We know she's got the power. She's got the power to hit. She hits the long ball. She will have to choose the balls and not get injudicious and go after every ball. And we have seen so far she's taken her moment, looked at the ball which needs to be attacked, and she attacked with some judiciousness there.
Lassie Bandaru back into the attack. Oh, she wants a big one, doesn't she? Big wind up, and I think she may have struck herself on the toe with her bat. Janelia Glasgow, let's take a look at this replay. By the way,
classic shooting your own foot shot that.
In the room outside the line of off stump, that is hammered away for 4. Sean Carey, I don't know that I've ever seen a worse piece of fielding in the outfield.
Seattle Orcas can do better.
Here we go. The Seattle, take a look at this. That is a horrible piece of fielding. The replay tells a story.
Come on. Do better, Sean Carey. You are
the CEO of the Seattle Orcas had the moment. He was on camera, and he flubbed it for the world to see.
That's not even Butterfinger. Having a wide open gate there. But Janelia, she is an absolute star when it comes to picking the gaps.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when you see a couple of attacking shots coming one after the other. The fielding starts to show a bit of cracks. You would get your opportunities, get those signals that would have otherwise stopped.
Interesting. Just that fumble, and you immediately see a switch. The captain says, we cannot have that in that position. I need a better fielder right there. And so the fielders are switched. There's now ostensibly the less chance of a fielding error in that position. Cracked away, but there's a fielder down there. I believe that's Ritu Singh. Very strong throwing arm. Look at that arm.
This is exactly where the Raptors lost the script yesterday, Brian. The waves, tail end, and the death overs, they came off pretty well. So they would not want to do that again today.
Good delivery. Line outside the line of off stump. It's a tight call, isn't it? Because you don't want to be too straight. You can be whipped away on the leg side. But any width outside the line of off stump, and she's crashing it through the offside. So you don't have a lot of margin for error. That is hammered straight. A lot of work for Lekachetti. She's not able to get there. 4 runs, ends over number 14. This is now the largest partnership in this match. 34 and counting. The score is 7-9 for 3.
This shot is a remarkable one on many counts because this was that particular play. This is the part of her batting where Janelia yesterday was struggling. The ball came to her, it was fuller, and it was not having width, but she played it straight and she timed it well, and she got rich rewards out of it. So she's feeling confident. Yesterday's innings have certainly given her a lot of confidence. Not that she needs it because she has been an international, but she looks like someone who's got steel in her nerves. She's very calm, she's composed, she bides her time, waits for the loose ball and capitalizes on that. She's got 17 of 14.
17 of 14. Giovanna Harris, 13 of 10. partnership again now worth 34, the largest partnership in the innings so far. Going back to the opening bowler, Leka Shetty. She is the one who was not quite able to complete that fielding off the last ball of the previous over. But now going back to your strike bowler, that to me is a sign that Anika Colin feels danger. We need a wicket here, and I need my number one bowler to come back into the attack and give me wickets.
Absolutely.
So one other playing condition that we'll talk about after this delivery, it has to do with the time in between overs. Single. So that condition is each over has to be started within 1 minute, 60 seconds of the end of the previous over. You get 2 warnings if you don't have that condition met. After that, it's 5 penalty runs for each time it happens. Many of these players would have never played under those conditions, so it's going to be an adjustment. I'm just hearing on the walkie-talkie where the umpires just said that last over took 1 minute and 25 seconds. That's unacceptable given these conditions.
It's also very rare, though, for women's games to go overtime. Men's games, yes. We're just more efficient with time. I don't know how much of this is.
It sounds like Monala Patel is trying to imply that women are more efficient than men. I think that's the takeaway from what I'm hearing.
I'm implying it. I'm stating facts. No.
Here is the next delivery. It's a good delivery. Forced into the offside, forced back to the bowler.
But to the point of taking more time, they want to get the fielding. They want to get the fielding spot on. And with Giovanna, the mood that she's looking at when the over started, they wanted to get the fielders. So there was some specific movements that was made square of the wicket for her.
Very full. Played into the offside. Now, you've brought back your number one bowler to bowl her penultimate over. Are you satisfied with 2 runs from 4 deliveries, no wickets yet? Does it feel like a good move at this stage based on the results in this over so far?
The fact that they've leaked a few boundaries in the last couple of overs, and if she's able to arrest that flow and not give them an additional momentum and boundaries and loose balls, that should be a good one. That obviously risks not having their frontline bowlers in the death areas, but they have to play the situation. At this point, they don't want these 2 batters, any of the 2 or both of them, getting more momentum to what they've already acquired.
Straight down the ground. Is it straight enough? It is straight enough. Flat batted down the ground for 4.
And right on cue, when I was talking and waxing eloquent of all that I was doing, Giovanna makes it look so easy. Just grabbing a 4 there.
I don't know if we have time to look at that replay again. She played that shot and did not even move. Look at this. This is not me trying to get to the other end. This is me watching my work as that ball sails over the rope.
That's all forearm there.
Ah.
Great set of hands. A lot of power generated in the forearms. Once again.
Smashed again, but long off will be in position this time.
But she's playing straight. That's the big part. We've seen a lot of wickets going down since yesterday in the cross-batted. She's not going all over the park.
End of over number 15. The last 5 will be interesting. 86 for 3.
Flighted up and over the offside. It's not right out of the middle. It does really well in the deep to keep this down to 2 runs.
That was good set of feeling there. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there is no chasing that. There's absolutely no chasing that. It's in the gap, and I don't think the fielders had to move a muscle. There was some effort to try and get to it, but this has been absolutely pummeled for 4.
Giovanna is doing it easily here at this point of time. She's got the measure of this wicket. She is looking comfortable and looking to play straight.
Good footwork as well. Just made sure she came down a smidge to be able to get to the pitch of the ball. Great connection. Inside the line of the ball this time. Would have liked to get it a little bit more square of the fielder.
She had the right intentions, but a little more placement would have probably got. The first time the run rate is above 6 in the game. Clearly, these two have put their foot on the highest gear possible at this point.
Well bowled. Janelia Glasgow just hasn't looked quite herself in this game today. 41 yesterday. Picked up 2 wickets as well. It was a really handy knock. A good partnership with Disha Dhingra. She's just struggling a little bit to get the ball away today. Calls for catch. And that has been put down. It's in and out of the hands. She had it in her hands. Le Cachette, unfortunately, it's just bobbled out, and that's a life, and that could be an expensive life as well.
You just mentioned Janelia and her struggling. That could have been the end of that innings, but that's a rather straightforward drop.
I don't know if Brian said, I don't know if Brian shared the story of Janelia Glasgow on our way home yesterday. So we were waiting to leave the ground, and we waited probably about 40 minutes because Janelia Glasgow had lost her phone. And so they looked everywhere. The whole team got off the bus. They scoured the entire ground. And then about 40 minutes of waiting later, the bus driver said, you know, just wondering if you guys have checked between the seat and the edge of the bus because things often fall into that. And so we did. And there was her phone. My question to the bus driver was, you waited 40 minutes to tell us this? Don't you think you could have started with that? I mean, now the entire team's back off the bus looking for this phone. She did find her phone. Otherwise, you know, that would have been difficult for sure. But yeah, we played scavenger hunt yesterday after cricket.
Well, we should call the bus driver now. She seems to have lost her form this time.
I don't know if she's left that on the bus, but that is a good one. I don't know if it's going to fit in that little slot right there.
Maybe she's lost her form. Exactly the same place in the bus.
Wow.
That's harsh.
That is harsh.
That is...
Oh, no. She is such a capable player. In 2 more deliveries, she might just make me eat my words. And I would happily do that.
Well, now she has to, because that was pretty harsh. Ritu Singh, though, into the attack. In for her final over.
No, she played an amazing knock yesterday. And she's getting a little bit of space here because Giovanna is taking the attack. And I hope she does that and she channels that little bit of space there.
See, this is the issue, though. She wants to hit everything out of the park. Unfortunately, she's not getting in the right position to be able to do it. Down the track this time, in the gap. That's going to help the form. That's going to help the confidence. This is going to be a boundary. Much needed as well for Janelia Glasgow.
That's her first shot that she's played by coming down the wicket, and that probably is one of the ways to tackle. We saw Giovanna do that. Ways to tackle that spin, waiting at the back foot might put you in that little bit of awkward spot, pushing you to play the square of the wicket or miss it out completely. Wonderfully played. Very confident shot. I'm sure that will do a world of good.
Yeah, and also given the fact that she's decided not to go across the line, she's held her shape. Form's tricky though, isn't it? The one day you have it and you look like $1 million,
Yep.
and then the next day you don't know, well, I'll say your foot from your hand. Foot. Oh, it's been bobbled. It's
There.
been bobbled.
We can see the indecision there for her right now in her mind. Should I go? Should I go down the wicket? Should I stay back?
But look at how far wide she's come. And this is to a ball that's going to be going away from her. Is it gone? It absolutely is gone. Good catch in the deep. That's going to be the end of Janelle Glasgow for today with the bat.
Very competitive catch there at the end.
You got to give credit to Ritu Singh again,
100%.
continuing to bowl that line, continue to take the ball away from her. And it's not an adjustment that she made readily. She should have known the ball was going away from her. Try maybe get closer to the line of the ball.
We spoke about this a while back, Manali. The two fielders square of the wicket in the offside, the gully and cover point. That how much of those two fielders, and see the ball was wide out of south stump, but she's played it straight up, and it bounced, but she played it straight above the bowler.
Well, it's just so wide, isn't it? So yes, there's turn, yes, there's bounce. But because of all of that, because of the width, it's got the toe end of the bat. It's not out of the middle.
And
But
those
this
two-
is a big wicket.
And those two fielders square of the wicket, it's probably put that the question that you asked in the morning, why there's no slip, when there are two fielders positioned specifically for that shot in gully and cover point, that makes the batter do separate things, different things, and exceptionally bowled by Ritu Singh. I'm so happy after 4 overs, 22 for 1 for her. She's really done a good job from that end.
100 up on the cards. 100 for 4 with 3 important overs to come here for the Blazers.
Blazers. I put my head out and called out for a par score of 125 to 135. I will see where we land from here. It's certainly possible to touch that 130 mark, maybe more.
Fingers gone up. Make that wicket number 5, and it is the set batter. It's the captain. Giovanna Aris is going to have to walk back. This is trouble because now you've got 2 batters who've got to get off the mark still, and it's in the business end of the innings as well.
But Ali, I was talking with Brian earlier, and my question was, I was very impressed with Jessica Walatkuama when she bowled in the morning in the first 10 overs. But I was wondering, why was she not bowling over the wicket? It's great to see her come back, take the ball a little away from the batter, take that outside edge. She comes from Balcombe Hills in New South Wales, Sydney, a place that is famous for another favourite son of Australia, Mitchell Starc, who's a favourite player.
I don't know if they call them Sons of Australia there. Don't know if that's an expression in Australia.
I would just say he's a celebrated personality.
He's definitely someone that they're proud of, I'm sure. But this is a really good delivery. It's the length that's gotten Giovanna Aris. The length was key. The line, unfortunately, again, we see just too much width on that offside that they're trying to give themselves room to go into the leg side. You would have a lot more success getting into the line of the ball. But now you've got 2 batters yet to get off the mark.
That brings back a lot of the equation back to the center. And the Raptors have a chance here to restrict things much.
Where does that expression come from?
Which one?
Won't get it past the fielder. Excellent. This is a good fielding effort.
Which expression would that be?
The son of or the daughter of some place.
No, I guess it's just one of the most celebrated cricketing personalities. You would just say one of the cricketing sons of the country, whatever.
Sounds
It's
like a
just one.
lot of pressure for the son or daughter.
Oh well, Mitchell Starc has been an absolute absolute legend of that art of left-hand bowling in the last 10 years or so.
I suppose that would make his wife a legend too, wouldn't it?
Much bigger legend than Mitchell Starc. She has achieved far bigger laurels for her country than what he has done. She's been a leader too, and she's been an amazing inspiration for so many young boys and
How
girls.
is that? I am very surprised the finger's not gone up. Just wondering if there was something on here, some part of the bat that saved her on this one.
Oh, that was probably just going down the leg after pitching, but very adjacent.
That's the back leg. Keeps it wide this time. What an over this is turning out to be.
That ball, Manali, if she would have bowled from over the wicket,
It's a wicket maiden.
it's a wicket maiden, excellent over there. But if she would have bowled from over the wicket, she probably would have pitched it, brought it in the way she did it, but it would be on the stumps. Having played a few left-handed bowlers in my time, I feel they have a better chance bowling over the wicket rather than round the wicket. You take the leg before wicket out when we're bowling to the right-handed batters. Very close call indeed.
18 overs gone, 100 for 5. Trouble for the Blazers. Started decently well. They have lost their way.
One entire over in the death overs without a run and losing a wicket. That put the cat amongst the pigeons big time. 5.56 the run rate. It was 6 a while back.
Daughter of Sydney. I mean, come on.
Of course. She is turning out to be a prodigy of Sydney.
Oh, wow. That is a lot. That is
well.
that's a big statement right there.
She is probably a good prodigal talent for United States at this point.
That should be taken. Oh, this is misjudged. It is misjudged, and it's going to be a chance gone down. No real timing, high on the bat. And it's the big wicket as well. You want to make sure your international players, the faster you pick them up, the better it is for you.
This is one of the things, Manali, you would know it much better as these young cricketers, they go back and debrief in their mind with coach and players. In the end of the day, they would need to be, once again, probably took an edge there.
Thick outside edge, run away for 4. That's going to help the scoreboard. And at this point, it really doesn't matter where they come or how they come, as long as they come.
Just to close on that thought, the younger players, as they get the opportunity, they will have to practice fielding, catching. They will understand that catching is such an important component in this part of in the stages of the game, any stage of the game. It can add so much to their portfolios, change the trajectory of the games.
Should just be the 1 run. See, this is a very complex conversation. And what we need to understand, especially in cricket, for some reason we seem to think that players need to specialize in it way too early. A lot of other sports don't specialize their players too young. What they what they do is they give them exposure by putting them in multiple sports. What that does allow for, into the leg side, in the gap as well. There's no protection in the deep there. Should run away for 4. This will help. 6 runs coming off the first 2 deliveries. It
Ali
is
Alain.
Ali Alain, who was dropped in the previous delivery. So what that happens, or what that allows for, is kids then end up developing a lot of those soft physical skills that we don't necessarily target when it comes to agility, when it comes to strength, speed.
That's a very
And when
important
you
side.
only specialize or when you only play one sport, a lot of that skill set is going to be centered around just those skills that you work on. It's exactly why the likes of Ritu Singh, for example, coming in with a baseball or softball background, gymnastics, the core strength, there's a reason why she hits sixes longer than anyone else. A lot of that is core strength from sports like gymnastics. And it's a big problem in cricket because we seem to want to specialize all kids way too young. So if there are any parents listening to this, give it time, give them exposure, give them enough time in other sports before they say, okay, cricket is what I want to invest all my time in. 19th over gone, it's 110 for 5.
That's such an interesting conversation, and thanks for that insight, because listening to Virat Kohli a couple of years back, an interview where he spoke elaborately on fitness, and he said a good fit athlete who can run and add a couple of more yards to their pace, they will, while fielding, have a chance to reach the ball a couple of seconds earlier, which is the difference between diving for the ball or easily being under the ball, and you suddenly add so much different facets to your overall sort of persona as a player. You bring in such a valuable point. Multiple sports does that to them. Players' development.
There was actually an article on Cricket Info about that as well. From the IPL, they realized there were more drop catches this year in the IPL than earlier years. But the question was, why are there more drop catches? Swing and a miss again. She's bowled really well. Jessica Willikamua into her final over, just 8 runs. And so they did some research, they did some analysis, and they wanted to figure out why is it happening. It's exactly what you just said. Virat Kohli saying players are fitter, they're getting to deliveries, they're getting to the ball faster, which ultimately means things that we didn't consider a chance back in the day is actually a chance now.
100%.
It might be a difficult chance, and we put it down as a drop catch.
Yep.
But it's the agility and the speed that's improved that allows them to even create that as a chance.
100%. Even the batters, they can convert ones into twos, or where there's no singles into singles.
Yep. And it goes to fielding as well. I mean, when we talk about not just catches, but when you look at fielding as a whole, the long barrier is practically gone now.
Yes. This has gone downhill very fast for Blazers.
Well, there is a second innings to come.
Yes.
And we did see a very struggling side in the Raptors yesterday with the bats. So they will want to try and convert this game into a win today. But more importantly, they want to make sure that that batting lineup fires today. They don't want to get in a pickle like they did yesterday. Pretty low scoring affair in that first game as well. And they weren't able to get over the line with the bat.
123 was what they were chasing yesterday.
Skied, taken. Wicket number 6. Jessica Willikamua is going to get her second wicket. She's got outstanding bowling figures to show off today.
She's enjoyed her day.
19.5 overs. It's 112 for 6. One important delivery to come.
123 was the score the Raptors chased yesterday. They were looking ominous when Kiana Joseph was run out against a run of play, and things didn't stabilize after that. They did have some partnerships, tiny ones, but whenever they looked a bit stable, they lost a wicket, and they ended up losing the game by a few runs, or a few wickets. But so having the runs on board is always a plus. But the question is, do they have enough?
Not a lot of pace to work with. And it's going to find the gap. Just lands inside the rope as well. It's going to go for 4. A good way to finish the innings. It's a bit of a high, a bit of a positive going into that second innings. High into the leg side. Bisects the 2 fielders.
they will take any drop of momentum, Manali, at this point of time, even if that gives them a little bit of sort of rush of adrenaline after that shot. They will take that coming into the fielding side. So, yeah, it was a good first ball. The one ball that Disha faced, and she converted that into a boundary, much needed one.
116 on the card, 6 down. Started well, Disha Dhingra, 25 off 30, went a bit slower than yesterday, but it was a very handy 25 when you look at the rest of the batters. 23 off 24, struggling very hard today. Janila Glasgow, Siobhan Aris, good captain's knock. Needed to be out there a little bit longer today for her. 28 off 19. Unfortunately for the rest, it was a struggle. And the strike rates tell a good story of that as well. The bowling was top-notch. 116 for 6 in their 20 overs.
And Jessica Valatkamova, she stood out absolutely, head and shoulders in that bowling. 4 overs, she got a wicket maiden in that particular mix. The 17th over, 2 wickets for 14. Wicket apiece for Kiana Joseph, Ritu Singh, Chini Pereira and Lasya Bandaru. Overall, a very disciplined bowling effort from all the bowlers for Raptors, wrapping that innings at 116 for 6.
Seems like a low score. Seems like they should be able to get it fairly easily, but we've seen crazier things happen in cricket. 117 is what they need when they come out with a bat, the Redmond Raptors. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the chase. Welcome back to the chase. 117 is what's needed for the Redmond Raptors to cross over the line, pick up their first win here at the Seattle Orcas Women's T20 Exhibition Series. A tough first innings for the Bellevue Blazers. The Raptors again have been impressive with the ball. 2 games in a row for them. But now is the real test because we saw them struggle very hard with the bat yesterday. That one against Washington Waves. They're also playing a doubleheader today. They take on the Washington Waves for their second rematch against them right after this game is completed. Kiana Joseph's going to kick things off along with Cami Desai. Cami Desai being brought up the order. She's typically an opener as well. Kiana Joseph bringing in the experience from the West Indies. Cami Desai playing a lot of her cricket in Gujarat in India. And she's now relocated to Canada. But it is a West Indian on West Indian contest at the moment as Alia Lane's going to start things off with a ball. Here we go, ball number 1. And she starts very well. On mark, ball number 1.
Didn't expect to have sledging this early in this innings. Alia Lane ending up on her follow-through just a few feet away from Kiana Joseph.
What is that supposed to mean this far, this early in an innings?
We West Indians typically don't sledge, but take a look at this right here. Obviously very good-natured. Stare down.
I love it. I don't think there's a time for sledging. I think you just got to come out all guns blazing.
And watch the response here.
Beaten.
She's
copped that one.
I'll tell you what. This is a good contest. I think Kiana Joseph was run out yesterday in shambolic fashion. She'll be very, very disappointed in that. She has a point to prove here. And she, if you remember from the few deliveries that she faced yesterday that she banged away to the boundary, will be looking to bat long. You would think that the Redmond Raptors would believe that if she, Kiana Joseph, bats, say, 8 or 9 or 10 overs, it's their game to lose.
That's a big swing and a miss. And for a second, I just thought the umpire was tempted to stick those arms up, but ball well and truly inside that line. At the moment, she's struggling to find bat on ball.
Alia Lane, from all the bowlers that we've seen this tournament, is or appears to be the quickest. Appears to be the one who gets the most zip run up, starting about 23 yards away, as you can see right there.
Wayward, and will get away with it. That should have been able to just nudge that away down like.
Any amount of bat on that, and it's coming toward us here. But she's essentially beaten for pace, such that even though the line was wrong and it was at her body, as I said, any amount of bat takes that down to fine leg. But the pace at which she's bowling Alia Lane makes her really difficult to get away. Excellent start with the ball so far.
Pace off this time. Good change up.
What a contest this is. For me, the X factor is going to be who bowls over number 2. I wonder if the captain is going to put her knee to the test. She moved well when she was running between the wickets, but there's a big difference between running between the wickets as a batter and planting that knee as a fast bowler.
Well, she's gone to being watchful, Kiana Joseph, and probably not the worst of ideas because she is struggling a little bit for form out there. It is going to be a maiden to start the innings off. It's none for none.
A maiden to start. Could the idea be, you know what? They apparently are fast bowler down because Giovanna Aras is not going to take the ball to bowl over number 2. And so you'd think that if she's going to bowl at all, she'll bowl in the middle overs. Could the thinking be, let's see, or let's be very careful to their main strike bowler, Alia Lane, and then try to get the runs off of the other bowlers? That to me is not the worst idea if that is what they're doing. But there's no doubt that this is a huge, huge development in this game. The fact that it does not appear that the captain, Giovanna Aras, is fit enough to bowl, at least where she'd ordinarily bowl during the power play, is something to pay attention to. Chetna Prasad, it will be who will bowl over number 2.
Turn. Right away with the new ball. And that's good signs for the spinners of the side.
So, hide the women and children here. See the turn.
It's a big turn.
Big turn into the right-hander. It's away from the left-hander, would be away from the left-hander. But she just absorbed a maiden, Kiana Joseph. That puts her under some pressure. She will be hitting with the wind if she chooses to go big. So watch out to see whether or not she attempts to take on the bowling here, because it feels like 7 deliveries into this innings, this is a key moment in the match.
Oh, she's definitely gone for it. This is interesting for me.
How so?
Hit into the leg side.
They did not take
And
a
they
single.
did not run.
I've already put on my scorecard 1.
They've chosen not to run on that.
That is amazing. Oh, wow.
Okay, gone again. And it will beat the fielder this time. She gets some more square. It's going to run away for a boundary. But she is at some point going to have to run those singles and doubles.
Have you ever seen the bowling being farmed this early in an innings? The 7th ball. The 7th ball of an innings, the bowling is being farmed. In 58 years of watching cricket, I have never seen that happen.
Well, you've clearly not met Kiana Joseph. But that's a shot. She's done well to get bat on it, but
Sure.
she just needs to be a bit watchful because we know the ball could be a bit skiddy. That's a better line, better length. Gets it back to outside off stump.
That is truly very curious. I'm sure I've never seen that happen before.
Backing away. And a healthy edge. She has run a single.
Wow. So it's Sahasra Gorla behind the stumps today. And that reminds me, you posed the question yesterday, and maybe after the over we'll talk about this. Somebody asked you asked how many wicket keepers there are in the U.S., and I got a really good response from a very good friend of cricket here in the U.S. That is the end of over number 2. The score is 6 without loss, and here is the response that I was attempting to tell you from our friend Ganesh Krishnamurthy. You may not remember the name. Pooja Ganesh is his daughter. He's the one Pooja Ganesh is a wicketkeeper batter. She just left from the Cayman Islands on the successful, almost said West Indies, USA team that won that tournament in Grand Cayman. Pooja Ganesh is a wicketkeeper batter, as well as Annika Kolan, you know that. Mitali, Aparna, all good keepers. And he actually provided a piece of information.
She's picked this up. It's through the hands. It's going to fly all the way for 6. This has been absolutely smashed out of the middle.
Now, if you want to talk about sledging, that you just saw, it's Jagan Namani, who did the fielding and then pointed directly at Sean Carey saying, this is what you should have done earlier when the ball came to you. But that's out of the middle. Absolutely smashed. As I said, I feel like Kiana Joseph is going to be really key in this chase. And if she stays there for any length of time, then that target of 117 can look very small. I'll get back to that other story after this.
Not the right delivery. Short. It's on the leg stump line, and it's easy pickings. Swiveled away for 4 more.
too straight. You like the angle across the batter over the wicket, but that line is not going to work. It is essentially sitting up and beg to be whacked, and it got up to maybe waist height. That is very much a hit me ball for Kiana Joseph.
Quite enjoying this contest though, because Ali Lane bowled a maiden to Kiana Joseph to start the innings. Ali Lane said, okay, over number 2, let's see what you can do. Kiana Joseph said, well, 10 runs, 2 deliveries, making up for that maiden, am I? Unlucky. It's going to run away for 4. Just waiting to see if it might have been leg buys. It is given leg buys. You've got to feel for the keeper because there's absolutely no stopping that.
Yeah. So very much a comeback here for Kiana Joseph. So she'll like the way that things have developed so far. Change in the action now. It looks like she's going to stay with the body line. There's a deep backward square leg and a deep fine leg. So you're expecting the ball to be much straighter given that field.
So to your point about the wicket-keeping story that you just told me, I had a really good conversation with Sindhu this morning. She's the coach of the Blazers and someone who has played countless years of cricket.
By the way, that deliberate thudding
you can't
into
do
the thigh.
that. You can't show pain as a batter.
With Aaliyah Elaine bowling heat rockets and it's thudding into your thigh, oh, that rule goes out the window.
Up in the air and taken. That's going to be the end of Kiana Joseph. Ali Lane's going to celebrate this. After going for a few runs in this over, she struck back. That's going to be the first wicket down. Good breakthrough this.
She celebrated with a kiss to Kiana Joseph. Kiana Joseph will feel less tickled about that kiss. Look at this. Skied and really straightforward catching opportunity there. She's not going to drop that, Mahek Desai. And boy, did that thud into the thigh cause more trouble than we realized, because she was moving, still is moving very gingerly here, Kiana Joseph, but full credit to Aliyah Lane. Why are you looking at me like that, Manali Patel?
You never show pain as a batter. Sorry. Cardinal rule.
I will say this. That was a really high-level contest. Strength to strength. Couple of 4s, a 6, and you know that one of the 2 is going to come out on top. On this occasion, it's Aliyah Elaine who gets the last laugh, and she'll be very happy with that. This changes things dramatically because it's now the captain, Annika Kolan, who comes to the crease. Annika Kolan, short of runs, didn't score very much yesterday, and she knows her team is in trouble after having lost a big bat of Kiana Joseph, so she has a major responsibility on her shoulders here.
20 for 1. Yeah, just going back to that conversation with Sindhu, she said our biggest problem right now in the US is the fact that we have so many 13, 14, 15-year-olds of good caliber that the competition makes it really hard to pick. She sprayed that. It's going to go for another wide. When you hear that from someone who's been in the system as long as she has, that's a very good problem to have. And the fact that we're just talking keepers earlier, but the fact that you've got competition with your bowlers, your batters, your keepers, in the next 2, 3, 4 years, that is so much potential for the US in the global stage. Guided for single. It's going to round off the 3rd over as well. 22 for 1. I mean, it's a problem that other countries wish they had, especially in the associate circuit.
I wasn't being flippant when I said this yesterday. The women are so much closer to being close to the top of world cricket in the US than the men. And the talent level that you see, I would imagine that you look on this field, you're not going to always immediately be able to tell who is the international professional and who is the local. And to me, that speaks absolutely brilliantly about what the talent level is in here in the US, and the fact that this tournament is being held to sort of highlight that talent is something that is really very pleasing to me.
Which is exactly why this tournament is so important, isn't it? Just trying to close that gap, more exposure, more game time of good value.
Manala Patel, I need to highlight something that I just saw. As of right now, the win predictor, as created by our AI here with the Crick Center app, is the Redmond Raptors 94%. I don't think I will say for the record, I disagree with that win predictor.
I think there's a lot of cricket left in this game.
There's a ton of cricket left. It's too early to say 94 anything. There it is on the bottom right of your screen. If that said 49, I could probably get with that. 94 feels highly excessive.
Are you a big AI fan?
In certain instances, yes. In others, no. It is truly an asset. For example, if I'm doing research for my day job, it helps tremendously. Other than that, used in its appropriate context, I think it's fine. Otherwise, I'm not a huge fan.
Well, at the moment, they're not getting this ball off the square very easily.
Tell you what, this is an excellent, excellent over ball by Chetna Prasad. And I think you've seen evidence that, as you just mentioned, Monali, not getting the ball off the square. There was one big over. Over number 3, ball by Leah Lane. Most of those runs came off of the bat of Kiana Joseph, but she's been dismissed. Apart from that over, that 16 runs were scored, only 23 other runs in this entirety, or the entirety of this inning so far. So, once again, to me, things just feel a little bit more difficult for the Raptors than they'd be happy with.
It was nice to see a crowd, isn't it? Come out,
Oh, my
support
goodness,
cricket,
yes.
support the girls especially. You still feel that wickets is going to be the name of the game, especially for the Blazers. If they can pick up another 2-3 wickets, they can get an upper hand here. And those dot balls, they will continue to add to that pressure. Changing the bowling. Janelle Glasgow's going to come in with the ball. Starts very well. And we're just being told there's a light drizzle that started. It is overcast conditions, unlike yesterday when it was sunny skies. A little bit cooler in the air as well today than it was yesterday. Full toss. Won't beat the fielder. They will scamper across for a quick single, though.
I will say, this is the first time that I've been in the Seattle area in my 44 years of living in this country. I've always had Seattle has the reputation of being windy and rainy. So it's always been like that. I was surprised to have seen the forecast that said, or that showed mostly sun for the entirety of this tournament. But even the little bit of rain that you have around, don't think it's going to be a big issue. That is well played. That is a lovely shot through the offside for Foreman, Ali.
Timed, just helped along its way. Cami Desai, she's been out there for a little while, opened the batting with Kiana Joseph, and that's the first bit of aggression that we've seen from her. Very classy shot for 4.
Well, where that ball ended up almost made you think that it was a lot wider than it actually was. She played that off stump, really middling off. I don't know if we have the time to go back and look at that again, but that was a really, really well played shot. Middling off line, she intentionally stays leg side of the ball and just gets it through, threading the gap between mid-off and extra cover. Excellent shot.
Just need to be able to find the gaps more often, I find. There is a reliance on the boundaries. Just need to be able to try and pick up those singles and doubles. It'll be a lot easier after the 6th over, once the fielders are pushed back a little. That's a poor delivery. That's been smashed down the ground. It's going to run away for 4.
Well, placement was less of an issue there. If you get a good, nice, juicy full toss, mid-on and mid-off inside the circle, those are runs on the offing. And that is easily put away straight down the ground by Cami Desai.
Wayward. Down leg this time, fired in from Janelia Glasgow. It's a low scoring affair. They cannot afford the extras.
It's an interesting contest. For me, I would just be back in the bowling side at this stage.
That's short again, looking for the bouncer, the line not quite right, and helped along the way for 4 more.
I don't know that this is the type of delivery that you want to bowl. Short and into the body with nobody in the deep behind square on the leg side. Easy runs for the taking, and it really is not the best of deliveries to end what ends up being a pretty expensive over. 14 runs coming from it. End of 5, 37 for 1. So, going into the last over of the power play, cheeky little glance down to short third to start over number 6. Over being bowled here by Mahek Desai, the young star who we talked about, who really excelled in Cayman a couple of weeks ago. Different assignment here, as her team is now going to have to defend some way another 79 runs in the next 89 balls. So where is your virtual money, Sheil Majumdar?
I'll probably be at a 50-50 for the slightly more swayed towards the batting side at this point, because there's very thin a margin to play with from here on. However, it is still that probably 48-52 kind of a stage, really, 52 for the batting side.
That is very political of you, sir. Very, very political of you.
I say so primarily because I'm seeing a little bit of loss of plot from the bowling. For example, the last ball of the last over, 5 fielders are on the offside, and you bowl a short, absolute short pitch stuff on the body with nothing on the leg side. So at this stage, if they have to win, they will have to bowl to their field. For example, it's a pretty packed offside right now. I would be disappointed to see anything that is coming on the body or the leg side.
In the air, No run opportunity here, though. So this is a good comeback over. The first one being bowled by Mahek Desai. 1 ball remaining, just 2 runs coming from it. And I think you've put yourself in a much better position here. Over number 5 went for 14 runs. Over number 3 went for 16 runs. So 30 of the 39 runs that have been scored have just come from those 2 overs. The other bowlers, I think, have been excellent. Single here to end over number 6. That's the end of the power play. We're sort of neck and neck. You've had more runs in the power play than the Blazers did when they batted, but you've lost a wicket where the Blazers had not. End of 6, 40 for 1.
Brian, the 3 bowlers who really bowled out of their skin for the Blazers yesterday were Chetna Prasad, Mahek Desai, and Disha Kavaripukam. She was the pick of the lot, and they've already brought Chetna very early. She did exceptionally well, 7 of 2 overs. Mahek has just given 3 of her first. So these are the 2 people, 2 bowlers as and I would be keenly looking for Disha to come in and contribute as well. But they certainly depend on these 3 bowlers quite a lot.
I think that's exactly right. Being able to rotate your bowlers around. It feels to me like you're a bowler short because the captain, Giovanna Arras, so far has not bowled, and I honestly I'd not expect her to bowl, and I'd prefer that she not attempt to bowl if she has a bit of an issue with her knee. But you mentioned this young lady, Mahek Desai. I'm sorry, Disha Kaveripakam. And she's now into the attack to bowl the first over out of the power play. Do you think you automatically just drop 5 fielders, or do you still keep an aggressive field? What would your preference have been?
I would keep close in field because this is a game of margins, and if they can keep the attack and not give too many loose balls, then it's all up to the batters to sneak in those singles. And if you can dry those out, pressure is created.
I mean, I think you're 100% correct. There's 4 outside now. Deep extra cover, long off, long on, and deep square leg.
Right, that ball, if one of those 2 were behind, it was an easy single.
Correct. I'd actually be inclined to have 1 more inside the circle. Now, you don't want short balls outside off stump like that. Those are easily scored off of. But I would want to maintain a very aggressive field. Maybe not very aggressive, but relatively aggressive field. I don't want to automatically drop 4 or 5 outside of the circle, even though you're allowed to outside of the power play overs. Oh, cheeky. I don't know that she meant it to go that fine, but I think I have fielding practice for the first time in... Okay, didn't quite make it, but it does go across the rope for 4. So that is a really lovely looking shot.
That was a chance, and one would sometimes...
Oh, it's harsh to call that a chance, Shilma Jumdar.
Not for the wicketkeeper. I'm thinking when you want to get aggressive, sometimes captains do think over-aggression and bring in an additional close-in fielder in the slip if the spinner is capable of inducing that kind of a edge. But yeah, you're right. It's a little harsh to call that as a chance.
Well, already a bit of an expensive over given the required rate. Required rate 5.3, and you've already conceded in this over 7 with the last ball to come. So you need wickets here, Bellevue Blazers, and you need them in a hurry. Another thick edge that is going to run down to deep fine, or deep third rather. Good effort on the boundary. That is Samiksha Sivakumar. That's really well done. A couple runs to close out over number 7, though. It's a bit of an expensive one. 9 runs coming from it. And at the end of over number 7, score is 49 for 1. Good effort in the deep.
It was indeed. And that sort of desperation will need to be shown quite consistently for them to have some sort of grip back into this game. It's such a tiny total. a few good overs like that, and you suddenly feel the deficit is too big.
Well, continuing to talk about the win predictor, it would be interesting to see what AI thinks. If you ask for the BW win predictor, it feels at this stage like it's about 63-37 to the Redmond Raptors. I think the bowling unit is just not quite as on the ball as they ordinarily would be. I think the loss of the captain, Giovanna Aras, with the ball is going to eventually hurt. And on balance, it just feels like it's the Redmond Raptors game to lose at this stage. Trouble. Tell you what, they end up with a single, but a bit of a fumble there in the outfield. And you'd think that that should have been cleaned up.
The
50 on the board right now, by the way. 51 on the board. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. I guess they will take it any which ways. This point of time, it's 95% as you see on your screen.
95%
in favor of the batting side. Clearly, the mathematics out here.
So this AI is way more enterprising than me, apparently. Now, 3 quick wickets can fall in 5 balls, and then you have a whole different calculation. Using the feet, that's a good-looking shot, but can't get it past short extra cover. It's a good piece of fielding.
It is. The dice is quite loaded at this point if they don't lose wicket. And when you look at the scorecard, it's 7 overs at a rate of 7. Just lost a wicket. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
So a couple of dots and then a single to close out over number 8. 50 on the board, 53 for 1, 64 needed in the last 72 balls, 5.3 and over required with 9 wickets in hand. All of that to me adds up to danger for the Bellevue Blazers.
Clearly, the plan was to let the openers take all the chances, which they did. Got them to a cracking start, especially Kiana Joseph. And after that, it appears the script is play with control, don't take much risk, play it on the ground, no airy-fairy stuff, and don't let the asking rate get away too far.
Well, you have a bit of an issue here. Partnership starting to build.
Yes.
And I could call him 13 from 13. Can we decide 20 from 21? That is a good piece of cricket driven into the outfield. They come back for a couple of runs. And it's just coming very easily here for the Redmond Raptors. So you're just kind of in a pretty tricky situation, as I mentioned. 70 balls remaining and just another 61 runs to get. So once again, less than a run a ball needed. And just over 5 and over needed to win at the moment. Oh, bit of a fumble there by Samiksha Silvakumar. You're in a tricky spot because you need wickets, and the question to be asked is, where are you going to get wickets from? Do you want to put a slip fielder in and attempt to build pressure in that way? Are there different things that you can do to attempt to build pressure? You certainly don't want to fire the ball wide and concede singles, or concede wides. I mean, almost at the halfway stage, 58 on the board, 59 runs needed for victory. So it's all very, very difficult here for the Bellevue Blazers. Appeal for a catch, gone. That's a big one. Kami Desai with the flash outside the line of off stump, and just enough of a tickle. Umpire takes a look at his umpire Biral decide, then finally deciding that that clipped off of the edge. Wicket number 2 is down, 58 for 2.
The reaction of the batter was very interesting. She thought she was hard done by that. That's a bit difficult to say, but I'm trust by the unanimous appeal that happened almost spontaneously at that point, that there was absolutely a thin edge there. But this is exactly the breakthrough that you were talking about, Ryan.
Well, you needed a breakthrough. Have to take wickets. You're not going to hold them to, say, 113 for 8. It's either that they're going to go on and surpass 118 or 117 rather, which is the target, or they're going to be bowled out. Those are the two options. And so then the question becomes, how do you bowl them out? What's the strategy to take wickets? It's never a bad idea to attempt to build pressure. You build pressure by bowling dot balls, by not bowling anything loose. You do that a few times, the pressure builds up, then maybe you induce a rash shot. That shot from Kami Desai was a bit too close to attempt to cut, I think.
Yep.
And so she would have been disappointed with that. This is an interesting moment here now. Lasya Bandaru will be on strike. You saw what she did with the bat yesterday. Her coach, Jaskaran Malhotra, will be watching here. And that is clipped straight to backward square leg for another wicket. 2 and 2. That was actually middled, but directly to backward square leg. And another wicket is down, 58 for 3.
Brian, Disha Kaveri Pakam spent inordinate amount of time putting her field exactly the place that she wanted. She took a lot of time, and this was one of those field positioning that she worked on, tweaked it. The fielder didn't move an inch. It was bowled, and she got the shot induced, and it was straight into the hands of that fielder. A whole lot of points for that for Disha out here. She understands, she's a thinking bowler. She gets the field placement impeccably correct, and that's a wicket. I would give the complete onus and credit to the bowler here.
Well, the bowler absolutely gets credit, but you love to see evidence of a plan coming to fruition, and it feels like that's what that one was. Now, that win predictor that was 95% a couple of deliveries ago, I would think has come down a little bit. Still think it's the Redmond Raptors game to win here, but they have to be careful. The captain is at the crease, Annika Colin, 16 from 15. The new batter will be taking over here. It is going to be very, very tricky to see what the development is. Hat-trick ball played into the offside. No hat-trick, and in fact they'll get a single. All of a sudden this game has swung a little bit. Not quite out of the woods yet, but look at that. 6 runs coming from over number 9. 2 big wickets in that over though. And so now, with the equation still being 59, make that 58 from another 66 balls, things just got a little bit closer.
Win predictor maintains 95%.
It says 95% still.
I appreciate and admire the optimism there. At this point, is rather than a source of truth, it's become a source of amusement. I'll leave it at that. I'm sure we'll fine-tune that much more precision over the days to come, if not today. 95% at this stage. Well, it's possible. Everything is possible, but those 2 wickets would certainly be denting that level of supreme
confidence
in that result. 58 of 65 is still well within. This will not. They will not be throwing up their arms as yet. But 2 quick wickets and the pressure of points table, it can work.
Well,
tremendous amount of tension in that camp.
4 balls remaining here in over number 10. And this is really good bowling. I mentioned it earlier. Building pressure is such an important element in the game. And you've started this over off here with 3 dots, and over that after the over where you lost 2 wickets. So this does feel like there's pressure being built on the batting unit. Can't get it past the field. Oh, they run for a quick single. I'll tell you what, could potentially have been a run out there, but they end up with 2 runs. That would be disappointing.
A direct hit would have made it things very interesting there, Brian. The player did take a while to pick up and throw, but you would expect a quick sort of release. Yet that was very, very close.
Kind of a wild swing across the line. Give credit to the batting unit, though. They have accelerated the running between the wickets, which is such an important part of the conversation. Yes, you've lost. Take a look at this again. There's a pickup from Giovanna Aras, firing, and let's see what this camera work looks like. And a direct hit there. Gone. That is gone. That is such good camera work. As we go back to live action, that's a dot that closes things out. In over number 10, we are evenly poised. 62 for 3 after 10. 55 needed from the last 10. The players will, I believe, take a water break. With 7 wickets in hand, they can overhaul another 55 runs. Be right back.
Back into the action. Target of 117. They need 55 from here on, the Redmond Raptors. Looking to nudge that, and a very good single picked up here. Anika Kalan calling early for that single. It's going to be more overthrows, and they'll steal a couple runs off of this again. Good communication between the 2 batters out in the middle.
In quick succession, couple of overthrows coming here, and that's the kind of pressure their batters are putting. And field is cracking up a little. They will have to be very cognizant. They're not playing with too many runs here.
Looking to use their feet down the track this time. No real foot movement, but it is in the gap. It's well placed. It's going to bring on a boundary. This is exactly the sort of strength you can get from Divya Saxena. Powerful batter, especially when she's in form.
It'll be interesting to see here. Did the ball pitch in front of the fielder and deviate a bit? It can happen if there's a bit of revolution on the ball from the shot or there's an uneven bounce. It looked like something that surprised the fielder there. 4 runs. Very, very important runs.
Short, wide again. And that is going to beat the fielder as well. It's going to run away for 4 more. This is a poor couple of deliveries here from Disha. It also then means that pressure that was starting to build on the batting side is just starting to get released a little bit. 10 runs off the over already. You just sense this is going to be key, this partnership right here. Pulled away this time. Should just be the single.
So Divya has certainly infused some momentum here, but absolutely agree with you here, Monali. Disha's comeback in the previous over and the result she got, she was unable to maintain in this one. A couple of looseners gave important 8 runs to Raptors.
It's going to be a dot to end the over. 11 overs gone, 73 for 3. It's an important knock from the captain, Anika Kalan, especially after losing 3 wickets very early. Helped stabilize the ship. She needed the runs as well under pressure from the loss yesterday. But it's going to be a long day for them. They've got another important matchup coming up right after this against the Washington Waves. That's a game that they lost yesterday.
The asking rate below 5 now, so that's not a challenge as long as they can keep their wicket and their themselves in control. And
that's picked up really well. It's going to go all the way. It's a maximum. That's a great way to start the over, and she takes on the experienced Janelia Glasgow.
Well, Divya Saxena, she's come from a different planet considering everybody else where they were playing. She's come in and certainly injected a whole lot of momentum here and intent as well. An experienced player. She's been through the situations a few times.
Mike Desai, correction, the bowler. And that's a better comeback delivery. Just pulls the length back a little bit, not allowing for Divya Saxena to be able to get under it. Into the leg side again. Oh, and that is, well, one way of putting your body behind the ball. Copped right onto the chest, but she did save the boundary.
Divya was keen on getting for the second. Anika was, she just let out a loud no. Whenever the batters are middling it so well, they're keen to get back on strike and take most of that on themselves.
Oh, nearly took out her batting partner there. If the Redmond Raptors come out on top of this contest, it'll be a very interesting looking points table because each of the teams would have picked up 1 win each. It's going to come down to that net run rate that we've been speaking about. Tickled, fine. Saxena, you can tell she's just in the mode, isn't it? She's picked up the single. She's looking for that second. She wants strike. She's seeing the ball well. She's striking them well. Turn off the surface. Good bounce as well.
And if the Raptors can get these runs wrapped up with few overs to spare, that would probably push what the Blazers achieved yesterday, because they finished the game with quite a few overs to spare, so their net run rate would be higher. After 12, it's 80 for 3.
Tossed up in the sky, fielder under it, and it's gone right through the hands. That is not a wicket you want to put down. It's the informed batter in Divya Saxena, and that might be the only chance that they get to try and save this game, the Blazers.
It's an important lesson here for all the emerging players, the young talent and display fielding, grabbing catches. They will have to work on that.
That's been struck well. Turns it into a low full toss into the leg side and put away for 4.
Samiksha is the new bowler, and she'll probably feel quite let down there. She created a chance, the very first ball, and probably that disappointment still working on her mind as she gave a pretty juicy full toss there. Things looking very easy now for Raptors.
It's not an easy art to bowl leg spin.
Yes.
In the gap, thread it through, make that 4 more. It's the skipper getting into the action now. Back-to-back force for Anika Kalan. It's good footwork. Down the track to the pitch of the ball. And then she finishes the job getting it past the fielder as well.
The breeze picking up. The temperature is a little cooler. It's a bit overcast. The players would not feel the heat like yesterday, but the breeze is definitely on the minds of the bowlers.
Ooh, more overthrows. And you've got to give credit to the batters here because they're very aware of these little moments.
Manali, I can see shoulders dropping suddenly from the fielding side. It takes just a couple of overs of such hitting and big scoring shots, and suddenly things start to look a little bleak.
They've done this so well. The footwork has been exquisite from Anika Kalan. Down the track again, to the pitch of the ball, and driven for 4. What an expensive over this is turning out to be. 15 off of it so far with a delivery to come.
I'm slightly intrigued with the circumstances they are on the 3 of their bowlers. Oh, look at that. Quite a confident surge down the wicket. She's certainly looking at the ball quite prominently there, Anika Kalan.
Go square. And we'll pick up a single to end the over. 16 coming off of it. Anika Kalan's going to keep strike. 13 overs gone. It's 96 for 3. Racing along here, just 21 needed from here on. Chetna into the attack, does really well, knows that the batters are coming down the track, just pulls that length back a smidge.
Chetna is an over too late. I was expecting her to probably start from the other end.
That's going to be a wide. Good amount of drift on that, though. That's promising signs. A bit late in the game, but there, a bit of drift again, thanks to the wind. This is a problem. We've got two batters at the same end. And this is a disastrous way for this partnership to get broken. It is going to be the captain, Anika Kolan, who's going to have to walk off.
She was looking at the ball, the non-striker, and they showed such incredible balance amongst them and coordination running those quick singles and twos. Look at that.
Bit of turn off the surface. It was short, and now I'm not really sure who to blame in this because Anika Kolan's come down the track. She is 4 or 5 steps down the track, and then she chooses to turn around. Now, if you're the non-strikers and you're reading that body language, you're thinking, all right, the run is on because the strikers come down halfway. We'll just need to wait and get confirmation on which batter. No, it is going to be Anika Kolan that's going to be out. Just wanted to make sure whether they had crossed or not and who would be out in that occasion, but she's gone. A decent innings from the captain comes to an end. 13.2 overs, it's 98 for 4.
One of the things coaches always in kind of drill in batters' minds and the young talent, and they come up coaching, that when you play a shot, it's not just about the body language, it's also about that call. And at this point, I guess, that little thing Divya could have done better was to call it more loudly and emphatically that I'm not coming in. But I guess
I also wonder whose call that is. Because it is in the middle. It could technically be either of their calls.
But because the batter has played the shot and it's a shorter time and they're getting a late start to run, they will have to decide and tell the non-striker, hey, will I be able to reach the other side? And that indecision happened after she took those couple of strides and suddenly realized I may not reach. But it was too late by then, really.
Oh, just a bit of a slip there from Divya Saxena. She's got a history of playing in soccer cleats. Indoor soccer cleats.
Interesting.
Really well played. Soft touch for a single. And surely now this means Divya Saxena has to see her side home. She's the set batter. She's been out there for a while now. She wants to make sure, she has to make sure that she sees her side over the line. That single is going to bring up the 100. They need 17 more from here on.
Shilan Khan is the new batter here. She's been penciled in for today's team. She didn't play the game yesterday. 16-year-old. Great opportunity for her as well to probably see through the game for her team.
Oh, that's a lot of turn. That is a lot of turn. They'll scamper across. It's going to be called a wide as well, and that's harsh because it's just the amount of turn that it's generated off the surface. Well, how do you bat that? I am surprised that's called a wide. I really thought she got a glove or something on that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It seemed like that.
Just based on the deflection after the ball went past the batter, there was a bit of a deflection. 14 overs gone, 103 for 4. bounce. Good signs for the second game. The spinners are going to be looking at this and thinking, all right, there's definite turn and bounce. Well, just a few yards in front of the fielder in the deep.
Shilan Khan, she's a tall player. Looks like she likes to open her arms, play some big shots. Disha Kaveri Pakam. She's in for a last over.
They'll steal a quick single with that.
Divya Saxena, what an incredible influence she has had. She came in at a time when things were tottering, in a bit of a tentative state, and took the initiative. Played some big shots.
Short delivery. Just too early through it. Almost had her eyes light up when she realized that it was a short delivery.
Yeah, she looks like someone who wants to play the airy big shots, attacking ones, not the ones who's going to kind of nudge and prod her way through singles.
At the moment, doing it in singles. End of the over as well, 15 gone. It's 108 for 4.
Just 10 more runs to win. And it's going to be skied into the air. This is going to be catchable and straight down the throat of deep mid-wicket and taken. And there is going to be another shift in the proceedings. Should be Agrawal with the catch. Fifth wicket is down. Is there another twist in the tail, Mr. Majumdar?
Divya Saxena is the wicket. So, yeah, she was probably the senior statesperson out here to have, who we were hoping would see it through. And now that leaves us with
Okay, what about these two guys?
He's not eating, but he doesn't like it.
You want Subway?
Well, this is very catchable, isn't it?
very catchable, but we have seen some of those go down, so she did make sure that she had it fully covered, eyes were locked on the ball, right technique, closer to the body, and there was absolutely no way she was letting that go. Good effort.
Well, it's a good effort in the deep. Good catch taken by Shubhi Agrawal. I will say that that's not the best of shots under these circumstances for the senior player, Divya Saxena. New batter is in. Ritu Singh does not have a whole lot of work to do. Stroking it down immediately off the mark. And all of a sudden, yes, you've lost a wicket. In all likelihood, that win predictor is probably at 99.8 by now. But
Yep.
you
I
still
was hoping it was about 105 now.
you still want to get over the line, don't you? Pulled away. Nobody out there. That is a good, solid strike for 4.
As we've been saying, Shilan Khan, she doesn't look like she was going to muck around. She's been trying a few big shots, and this one she connects, and that's first big definitive strike for her.
Cheeky, just pushing it into the offside. So just another 4 runs. Now, if you are Ritu Singh, do you want to try to finish with a flourish? Do you want to try to give you and me catching practice right now?
Yep.
With the wind blowing this way, no less.
Oh,
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen Ritu Singh play a late cut before.
I was very impressed that Chetana Prasad, or at least I was pleased that Chetana Prasad got a wicket. She's bowled really well.
Well, she gave it a big flourish, didn't it? Oh, didn't she? Gets it out straight to Aliyah Lane down at long off. And maybe at this stage they've decided to do it in singles. A single that closes things out over number 16 is done. You get the sense one way or the other the match will finish in this over. End of over 16, 114 for 5. So here's a question to you, Mr. Sheel Majumdar. It appears as though Aliyah Elaine has the ball in hand and will be coming in to bowl over number 17. Why would you have waited until there's 3 runs remaining for victory to bring back your best bowler?
You're absolutely right, and that's a question that I was wondering, and I asked that over from Samiksha, unless it was somebody that the captain would give some experience to, but at the stage of the game that she bowled, there were a few more options. Of course, the international players, whether it was Ali Aleen or Chetana Prasad, who had just 2 overs at that stage for 7 runs. Whether Samiksha Sivakumar was the right choice, which went for 16 runs at that point. Not that that's the over that changed it. Of course, the 2 batters were batting well, but you're absolutely right. With a such low-scoring game and the 2 batters going well, you bring your best bowlers early.
I mean, essentially what you've done here is held her back for over 17 and 19, and that's wonderful if you're chasing 150.
Yes.
You want your best bowler to be bowling the last over in the innings, and of course they have one more over before that. The penultimate over of the innings, and if they have an additional over, they bowl number 17. What you've done essentially is wait till the very end, and this could be a maiden. She could take 4 wickets in this over. It probably doesn't matter because it's all too late at this point. But having said that, you still go through the process. You still have to get over the line, so the game isn't done yet. Yes, in all likelihood, it will be a victory, the first one of the tournament for the Redmond Raptors. Aliyah Lane steaming in from the north, and this is tapped into the leg side. They should get 2 here, now just 1. So the score is a level.
Yes.
And the next run of any flavor gets the Redmond Raptors on the board. Who will have the pleasure? Is it going to be Ritu Singh? Is she going to try to hit a 6 into the wall?
After 3 games, they're sitting at a state where no one team is looking head and shoulders above than the other 2.
Oh my goodness,
thought
yes.
Blazers were like that. They would probably still retain their top spot because their net run rate was way above 2.02 yesterday. This is also a sizable victory, even when it comes.
Down the leg side, and for the second time this tournament, a wide ends the proceedings. So that wide takes victory for the Redmond Raptors. They get victory by the margin of absolutely brilliant 4 wickets. You see the end of the match here. Handshakes all the way around. Shield ends up being a pretty straightforward victory for the Redmond Raptors.
Yep. Most important part besides the wicket is they
Well, they certainly would be on top, wouldn't they? And just a quick look at the scorecard. We'll see that up shortly, but I think it's a very clinical performance. Very fast start by Kiana Joseph when she was in. It was a good matchup between her and Aliyah Elaine. Aliyah Elaine winning that matchup, but ultimately just not enough runs on the board for the Bellevue Blazers to attempt to defend. So the full scorecard, you'll see that shortly.
Kiana Joseph 15 from 15. Can't decide was with a solid 20 from 22. There's your scorecard. 32 from 24 for Anika Colin, the captain. Top scoring, leading from the top. Lasia Bandaru, unfortunate to miss out today with the bat. Divya Saxena, 26 from 23, but I think played an unnecessary shot to get out when she did. Shilan Khan and Ritu Singh taking victory home, essentially cruising in second gear. And let me know what you think about what you saw from the bowlers.
Yeah, it was interesting. I probably think there was some wrong timings for bowlers to be issued, but that's where the bowling card is once again the spinners. Chetna Prasad and Mehak Desai, the two standouts absolutely. Mehak Desai especially. She didn't have wickets, but 17 of her 4. Two wickets apiece for 2 wickets for Disha Kaveri Pakam, but she was also very expensive as well. So the end, that's the summary of the game.
Well, there's a summary. Giovanna RS 28 from 19, Disha Dingra 25 from 31, leading with the bat for the Bellevue Blazers, but ultimately just not enough runs. The Redmond Raptors, captain Anika Colin leading from the front, Divya Saxena 26 from 23 also. And even though a couple of wickets for Jessica Willett Gamoa, Kiana Joseph 1 for 14, ultimately very straightforward victory in the end. So we'll go silent here for a minute, and then when we come back, it will be Manali Patel to handle proceedings at the post-match ceremony. We will be back shortly. See you soon.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. It was the Blazers taking on the Raptors today, and the Raptors winning by 4 wickets. To start, we're going to introduce our presentation party. Zoya Kaushal, marketing coordinator of the Seattle Orcas. Thank you for joining us. We have seen some standout performances today. To name some, Giovanna Aris, 28 off 19. Jetna Prasad, 1 for 21. The skipper, Anika Kolan, 32 off 24, but ultimately the player of the match will go to Jessica Wilith-Gamua, 2 for 14 in the first inning. She set the tone with the ball and made it very easy to keep them down to a very low-scoring affair today. Jessica, please come up and collect your award. Bowled really well, figures of 2 for 14. What was the plan going into the game today?
We just had a plan of bowling back of a length and keeping that good length and just trying to get the batters to play, and didn't work out too early, but I think towards the end that really came through.
Was there a bit of pressure knowing that you're coming off a loss yesterday?
A little bit, but I think our team, we all trust ourselves to keep going and keep the momentum going through.
Speaking of momentum, you go right into another game. How does that work with energy levels and just keeping positive?
Yeah, I think we've rested enough. I think the fact that our batters finished the game early gives us a bit more time to prep for the next game, so I think we'll all be good to go.
Well, really well done, and best of luck in the second game.
Thank you.
Now time for the losing captain, Giovanna Aris. Come on down. Not so much of a positive chat like we had yesterday. Things not going well today in that first innings. Where do you think the wheels came off today?
I think we just started pretty slow, I think. I mean, we didn't get the runs that we wanted. We didn't capitalize on the bad balls, but I think towards the end when I came in, I think we picked it up a bunch, but then bowling, I think we did all right. I mean, it wasn't our best day in the field, but we did what we could.
Now, you're only playing 1 game a day yesterday and today. Do you think that helps out in terms of energy levels?
Yeah, I think so. I think our energy, I mean, it was good for the most part. I think we could have picked it up a bit more, but I think yesterday too, our energy was pretty high. I think going into tomorrow, we're just going to try and keep that up for both games.
Do you feel that there was a bit of a loss that you couldn't bowl today because of the injury?
I mean, I was planning on bowling, but then right before the game, I was like, it doesn't feel too comfortable. I have plenty of bowlers. I don't think I necessarily needed to bowl. I think everyone did what they could, and just we had some field placements that weren't in the right spots, but we did what we could.
Now, I know you don't like giving your secrets away, but maybe just give us a little bit of a hint of what it's going to look like tomorrow to try and pick up a second win.
I think it's going to look pretty similar to the past 2 games today and yesterday. That's all I'm going to tell you. I think mostly yesterday, but I think our batting order might change a little bit, and our bowling plans are going to change a bit. But that's all I'm telling you. Secret's a secret.
You've really given me nothing to work on there, but thank you so much. Tough luck today. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Now time for the winning captain, Anika Kolan. Outstanding with a bat, had a pretty good all-around game and needed this win. How does it feel to pick up the first win in the series?
Yeah, I mean, kudos goes to the girls. I mean, I said in the pre-match presentation that our goal is to keep them under 120, and I mean, that's exactly what we did, restrict them to 116. Batters did well to chase it down, so I'm really happy with how they went out there, and just, yeah, a lot to be proud of, and the momentum that we're going to take into the second game.
Is it fair to say that you're a stronger bowling unit than you are a batting unit?
I think that's the most exciting part of it, because I don't think you can choose one. I think both of our areas of the game are both really good, and I think that every single game brings out a specific part that you haven't seen yet, which I think is why this sport is just so fun and why tournaments like this just show so much.
Speaking about the batting aspect, you got runs today, decent partnership between you and Divya Saxena, but you continue to lose those early wickets. How do you change that going into this third game for yourself?
Yeah, just going over our basics as a batter and the goals that we want to achieve inside the power play and once we're outside of the power play, and just going over areas of where we want to target, our risk versus our reward, and just honestly just keeping it simple and having fun. And if you see a ball that you want to hit, lights are up and you just go for it.
It is a double round robin. Net run rate will come into the equation. You're currently sitting in second. I'm not sure if you've seen the points table yet. How much does that affect how well you attack out in the middle?
Yeah, it definitely, like, if you look in the longer picture, that's definitely what we're going to want to do if we want to get hands on that trophy. But I think the way that we picked up in this first game and going into the second game, we're just going to want to build off that momentum and get as much as we can out there.
Well, good win. Best of luck in your second game today, and hydrate.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for tuning in for this game. That's going to sum up the match or the post-match presentation. We do have another exciting game coming up as well. So please don't go too far. We'll see you in about 2 hours' time for more action.